What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Monday Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, we talk about the most recent news topics in the scale RC genre. Let's jump into this week's topics. Let's start right off by talking about the Horizon and Hobbyco deal. Now, Horizon had put in an $18.8 million bid on Hobbyco, including Axial and Arma. Now, that deal has gone through, it was approved, and it is finalized now. Now they can start trying to organize how both of these companies are going to come together. It does look like Tower Hobbies is going to maintain its web store, even though that does kind of have a double up with Horizon's side. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of changes coming, maybe subtle ways, maybe big ways, but it's going to be something that's going to be interesting to watch for and see how the mixing of those two companies comes together. So at this point, we just have to kind of keep our eyes out and see what's going to change, how Tower Hobbies and the Horizon Hobby website are going to mix, see how Axial and Viterra are going to mix, and with how Arma fits into the mix with the mix of products that Horizon has as well. No matter what, we have to expect that we're going to see some sort of changes coming over the next few months. Getting into some new release topics, it looks like Tamiya is bringing back their old Isuzu on the CC01 platform. Now, this is a smaller scale in some ways. While I think that CC01 is still technically a 1/10 scale, overall, it's a pretty short little car. I think those wheelbases are usually around that 10-inch range, but it is a Tamiya injection molded body. Now, this is a re-release of this product, but it's always nice to see more injection molded, high detail quality bodies like this become available. So any of you guys who are interested in that type of RC, check the links in the description below. Vanquish Customs released a new product over the last week, and that is a photorealistic style backdrop. You've probably seen over time people who have built kind of scaled dioramas of garages or different types of settings where they would like to take pictures of their scale rigs. However, those take up a lot of room. They kind of have to be a permanent fixture wherever you do it, just because of all the details and intricacies that go into building something like that. Now, Vanquish Customs came out with a full backdrop that kind of replicates a garage or warehouse style scene, but it's something that you could put up and then take back down. A lot of people do not have the space to leave something that large up all the time. You have to remember that a scale garage that holds a scale car has to be pretty decent size to really give you the depth or look that you're going after. Looks like this is going to give those people an option who don't have the room for that. I'll put the links to his website in the description below if you're interested in picking one up yourself. The big release over the last week was the new Vanquish Portal axles. Now, these are based on an SCX-10-2 platform. They're made to fit anywhere where you would be using an Axial SCX-10-2 axle, whether aftermarket or stock. It uses all of the same link mounts and geometry that you're used to seeing. However, it incorporates a portal style end to the axle. It is a one-piece design. It is a complete axle. It is not an add-on to any current axle that you own. But the other thing is about these is that they come 100% with all of the parts you need to build the axles, from all of the gears inside, all of the shafts, bearings, everything out to the wheel nuts. Now, there's a front axle and a rear axle. You will need one of each or two fronts if you wanted to run four-wheel steer in order to complete it, because these portals actually do have gear reduction in the portal box itself, which is another added bonus. Also, there is an optional overdrive gear set available for the portals in case you want to overdrive the front axle. Overdriving gives you a number of advantages when climbing, or also adding to a decreased steering radius. The axles are currently available in black and clear anodizing. The links to all of those are available in the description below. I also did a 4-hour live stream where at the beginning I ended up tearing them completely down, showing you everything that is in them, all of the details about it, and talking about all of the small little features that you might not be able to see or read just by looking at a few pictures. So if you're interested in checking out a very lengthy explanation of those, you can go check out that video. I'll link that in the description below as well. And another release that came from Vanquish this week was the new Incision drive shafts. These are for 12.3-inch wheelbase SCX-10s or SCX-10-2s that use the 3-gear style transmission. These drive shafts have a compact U-joint for a more scale look. They have a splined engagement, and they're made out of hardened steel. All the details in the description is available in the links below as well. Something outside of the RC market, but maybe of interest to several of you, is a brand new game that is scheduled to come out soon called Pure Rock Crawling. I ended up running across a video of this and got forwarded it a couple of times as well. It looks like a nice, realistic style rock crawling game with decent physics, and it's actual cone dodging. Looks like it could be a lot of fun. It's for PC only, it appears at this time, and whatever information I can find on it, I will link to in the description below as well. That does it for the news topics for the week. And for a little discussion topic, I wanted to touch on something that I saw pop up kind of in some rules discussion over the last week. And it was basically all kind of fired up by the Portal axle release, it seemed. And the question was, should Portal axles be allowed in Class 1? Now, for those of you who don't really care about scale competition, the term Class 1 may not mean anything to you. But Class 1 is really kind of a description to use for a vehicle that's supposed to be more of a scale street legal style car. The wheels have to be fairly covered by the body. The tire height is limited to 4.19 inches. So overall, it's just kind of a less capable vehicle that requires some full width bumpers and a number of other scale features to really meet the rules of the class. Now, people were asking if Portals should be Class 1 legal because currently they are. And it really just kind of started a lot of people arguing on both sides. Now, there's a lot of Portal axles available beyond the Vanquish ones that were just released. The Traxxas TRX4 being the most popular Portal axle on the market by far with the numbers. But also, people like MST have them out, and then there's ones that have been out for a long time like the G-Made R1 that was never very popular. The argument being that is you can install Portal axles onto a rig with these 4.19-inch tall tires, and you all of a sudden have a pretty large advantage as far as clearance goes. But in reality, vehicles exist that are street legal with Portal axles on the streets every day already. Unimogs, G-Wagons, there's options for Portal axles on a lot of vehicles. But people are saying, well, we're not putting it on that. It's on X vehicle or Y vehicle. I kind of see what they mean, but we also don't see frame rails underneath of a Jeep XJ or all that many solid axle FJ Cruisers in reality. At least ones that kind of fit their scale, street legal style. But all of that is allowed in competition. So where do you draw the line without adding a ton of rules? And it looks like the guys from the rules committee are kind of on that same why add more rules mindset as well. And while I do see that Portal axles do give a distinct advantage in clearance in that, at the same time they also raise things like your center of gravity. You've got to work around ways to try and get those to fit in a vehicle if you want to try and keep center of gravity low. So there's a give and take to almost all situations. But if you're familiar with the idea of what a Class 1 is, do you think that Portal axles should be or shouldn't be allowed? And a second part question, do you think that over or under drive gears should be allowed in a Class 1, whether that's in a Portal or not in a Portal, just a standard vehicle at all? So drop your opinion in the comments below and we'll get a little bit of debating going on. But with that, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome week. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not already. And see you next Monday for another Scale News Update.